You talk about Craig Hodges,
yes,
who was the leading three-point shooter
yep.
for the Chicago Bulls.
And what happened
Spoke
to him?
out.
Mm-hmm.
He was on the first championship team and wasn't there since.
And then he was he was a permanent bench warmer and still shot more threes in the 3-point shootout than anyone else.
Yes, he did.
And so that's what happens to you. You know why? Because when you're one of the first, the few, and the only, even on a team with all black people, you're still outnumbered because you're not one of the owners. The owners don't look like you. And whether you're in the classroom or the church or that one black kid from youth group or the one Asian kid from the bus, or the one Hispanic friend at work that you claim to love so much, there's an experience that you don't have to know. And that experience is this: you are not protected. Phyllis Wheatley, just like Craig Hodges, the first published poet and author in the United States of America. You know how her life ended? She spoke 5 languages and more or less kind of like rose out of slavery and was, quote unquote, awarded her freedom because she was so brilliant, because she did all this stuff. But you know how she died? In an unmarked grave with her children dead, sickly, with no one to care for her. What happens to people like Craig Hodges, what happens to people like Phyllis Wheatley, and what happens to people in this conversation is that you're unprotected. That's the reality. You can be bold and strong all you want, but you will do it by yourself. And look, I have learned by doing this work and doing this before I started writing about it that your skinfolk ain't kinfolk. That people will choose their job over you every time.
And it's interesting you bring that up because you were bringing up trailblazers. And one of the more modern examples of what you're talking about is a name that people often forget about, but as soon as you mention the name, people go, oh, Colin Kaepernick.
Yep.
People forget that Colin Kaepernick was the spokesperson for Beats headphones.
Yes.
Because, among other things,
yeah.
he was a Super Bowl playing quarterback.
Yep.
He was one of the first African-American quarterbacks to start a game in the Super Bowl in only his second, I think it was his second year in the league. And he was indeed a phenom. The moment he kneeled, you not only had people pushing back on that, but you literally had the President of the United States calling a bunch of people sons of bees.
Right.
And
allegedly a pact amongst allegedly of the NFL owners to no one hire him.
Once he asked for a raise and held out, he never had a job in the NFL again.
Yeah.
So, whether it's Curt Flood in the 1960s, who was an African American that brought about free agency in Major League Baseball, or Colin Kaepernick, there's this risk that you talk about being the first, the few, and the only. That is a very real risk in America. I want you to hold your thought because we're going to come back after the break and continue talking about the book, talking to thought leader and author Michael Thornhill, PhD, here on News Radio, KDKA.
Fantastic.